How you doing? It's getting cold out, man. I live in Arizona, and I swear it must have dropped at least 35 to 40 degrees. I don't know. I feel like I'm driving down the road, and it's like seeing the highway patrol. You know, you're doing 85, and next thing you know, it's 55. It's craziness over here. But that brings me to this subject, and that is 140 plus digital releases and more to come. Merchandise discounts, supporter-only specials, bonus items from the back catalog. What are we talking about? We're talking about the swamprecords.com/doomtomb. You've got some time on your hands. You can't go out as much. You're not going out to get a tan or whatever. You're going to be inside listening to music, so why not be a supporter? Starting at just $5 a month, you're going to get some killer artists like Veljet, Froglord, Death Gang, Lunar Swamp, Pure Sonic Outcast, Green Hog, Those Brujos, Dead Panda, and so many more. Now, if you bump it up just a bit to $7 a month, you're going to get a limited, exclusive CD each and every month. That includes the shipping, plus a bonus CD when you sign up. What the hell, man? What are you waiting for? Get in the Swamp Krewe. www.theswamprecords.com/doomtomb and get in the swamp. This is the Doom Tomb Podcast, the podcast for all things stoner, doom, and sludge, and top fives. And today we have the return of Miss Melissa, the Stoner Witch, from Stoner Witch Radio and Stoner Witch Records. And we talk a little bit about that. We talk about music. We do a little top five. We kind of cover it all in a short time span. So, here you go. Here's the episode. And really, what is this ball thing about? I just don't know. Can somebody show me a picture already? Well, if you don't know, listen to the interview. You'll figure it out. Here it is right now. So this is going to be different. You know, we had Miss Melissa, the Stoner Witch, from Stoner Witch Radio and Stoner Witch Records on just a bit ago, and it felt like we had such a good conversation, but I feel like we just kind of scratched the surface. Now, I don't know if we'll get to it or not. I'm thinking about doing a top five, but we got a lot of other stuff to talk about. So first, let me say hello, Melissa. How are you?
Good evening, Chris.
Hey. Okay, so let's start off with Stoner Witch Radio. What's going on there? What you got? What you up to?
Well, I've definitely scaled back on my releases of shows. You know, I used to be that girl who posted every 2 weeks, but now I'm more of like once a month, and that just kind of happened due to my other, commitments outside of the radio show. I got the record label, I got my little voiceover business here, and
Sure.
I got a job that I go to that I'm going to be going to in just a few hours actually. So I just didn't have the time that I normally would before, but I'm hoping that can increase later on this year. But I do have another show that I was planning on working on late tonight, so I'm due usually at the beginning of each month.
I gotcha. And I like the way that, like, what was initially possibly a side hustle of sorts is becoming the main thing now.
I know, right?
Isn't it? It's like, it's blowing my mind, man. I love it. So, okay. Now I know we've got the devil music happening here. Anything that you're looking, is there going to be a theme for the next radio show?
Well, I did an acoustic show last month, or this month, actually, September 3rd. And I've never done one of those, and I always wanted to. It was actually inspired by the Devil's Witches release.
Right.
Drugs, Drugs, and Filthy Pictures. Wow, I can't believe I got the title wrong. But he did an acoustic song on the B-side, and I thought, and then I saw Mephistopheles drop a couple of acoustic jams as well, and then I just wanted to play. And then, Monolord lead singer, I have such a hard time pronouncing his name. I'll just call him Thomas.
That's
but
fine.
His album, his Solitary Plan album, is pretty, stripped down, not totally acoustic, but it's close, So I figured, hey, why not just do an entire show made of acoustic jams? I just really toned down, calming music because I've been feeling, really stressed out, a lot of anxiety, and you know what? It helped. It helped a lot.
Awesome. Very cathartic for you, It's,
yeah.
And believe me, I'm not in really the mood of bringing anything down. We had a loss in our community. the Josh McGee from Wolf's Winter, putting out a tribute album or a tribute episode to him coming up really soon. It just hit me like I couldn't believe it. I saw he was on No Slip Records for the Wolves of Winter release, and Robert Pilson, I think, is the owner of that, and he just made this announcement, and I kind of looked. I was, you do a double take because it's like, to me, he's like a kid. He I think his birthday is either today or something like that. He wasn't even 40 yet.
Yeah, I'm friends with him on Facebook. It's crazy.
I don't know, but it on top of that, and then Ruth Bader Ginsburg passing, and we're still in the middle of this pandemic thing and trying to make sense of everything. And I don't know if you noticed, like I've been going to some stores and they used to have move this way, don't move this way, do not enter here, enter here. Those are starting to slowly lift. So I don't know if there's a change going on. But I'm still kind of spending the majority days at home.
Me too. Well, I've been spending a lot of time in nature. So I've been avoiding people, but just in the best way possible. So I go out and I go climb a mountain. I just spent, 6 hours, floating down a river yesterday. I need to get outside, but because I naturally just love being in the sun. And so I moved to Arizona. But at the same time, I'm not crazy about being around a lot of people. And I think this has been the most grounding year for me. I've been going through all these phases, and I'm sure a lot of other people are as well. But I'm in like an acceptance, and I hate to say it, but I'm in a hopeful phase now. I'm feeling really good. It's so fucked up.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We don't know.
How did this happen?
I don't know. But there's something. There's something that you touched on earlier regarding Devil's Witches.
Ooh, yes.
There's some stuff going around on the internet.
Let me just sip this tea. It's so hot tonight. Wow. Yeah, let's continue.
So please go right ahead. What now you worked with him on
Yes, James. James is a wonderful, at least in my experience, artist. I first got in touch with him during my Coven of the Ultra Rift release. That happened. That was the third release ever on my label. And I was so floored when he asked me to release it on my label. And I was like, holy shit, Devil's Witches is actually asking me to do this. And I said, oh yeah, of course. And right from the get-go, super nice guy, I obviously gave him free reign. I was like, do whatever you want. I have no say in this. I'm just going to make the tape for you. We're going to do whatever you want and just, put it out there. And it did very well. Our communication's always been super great. Of course, that went down in St. Karloff. So we had another, dimension added in there with the other band. So working with both of them. And then, fast forward to the beginning of this year. And he had the Guns, Drugs, and Filthy Pictures release that he was telling me about. Right. That was supposed to come out on the first record store day of this year, which was supposed to be in April. Right. And again, wonderful experience working with him. The art is always great. And it's really hard for me to keep secrets all the time because he mentioned this back in December. So I had to keep quiet about it for months and months. And then we released it. Then the pandemic happened. So Majestic Mountain Records couldn't release it till later. It was just a big mess, but to see what went down on social media this past week was it came out of nowhere for me because, like I said, I'm not a very connected person as a lot of people think that I am, but so I was just as stunned just to read everything and find out what was going on.
Yeah, I obviously I want to hear all sides. I like to, be fair and impartial. So I don't know what the rest of the story is, and anybody that wants to chat about it, hey, hit either of us up and we'll talk about it, I'm sure.
And you know what? Stuff happens. I mean, there's labels that I used to work with that I no longer work with. It just happens that way. That's the way humans are. And I don't hold hard feelings. It's you know what? We came together for this project or maybe this project, and then that's that. We did a wonderful thing, move on.
Yeah, it's... You learn that as you age. Weird stuff happens, and there's just you get to a certain age, and it's there's just not enough time for all this bullshit here. We just got to move forward. It's okay, I'm sorry, you're sorry, we're sorry. Let's move forward.
Yeah, and that's the way it goes.
And speaking of moving forward, let's talk a little bit about what you got going on with Stoner Witch Records. I see this this ball release. Now, and I know that's even a weird way of saying it, but I love this, man. I am getting into it. You turned me on to this band a while ago. And so what do you have going on with them with this cassette? And all right, what's going on with the patch?
All right, so the patch is really I guess it's a controversial design. Like, you'll be surprised when you see it. It's not super intricate or really crazy. It's just what it is kind of like, ooh, geez, that's really,
like,
it's really out there. Huh? Yeah, it's really out there for a patch, so I'm not going to post it on the internet. The band does not want to reveal it on the internet, so I respect their decision. But at the end of the day, like I said before, I'm just a fan of music. So when I approached their label, Subliminal Sounds in Sweden, and I was like, hey, if you have any tapes coming out, I'd like to distribute a couple in America here for your US fans to save on shipping. And they were like, yeah, which was, I was so ecstatic to find out that they wanted to work with me. So I got a few copies. A lot of people freaked out over the price of this tape. It happens to be $27 in Sweden and $25 here, which is a lot because of this like secret patch that they didn't want to show.
Well, it's like,
and it's just cool.
But you know what? Look, I'm looking at it right now, and it's got, there's 100 of them, so that's it. And they're not redoing it, they're not remaking it. So it's going to be a collector's piece. So
it's for the diehards. I mean, if you're a serious fan of Ball, you're going to buy it, and I did. You know, I bought their Debauched book, which was crazy. That was quite a bit with the floppy disk or the floppy disk. You know, the record that freaked everybody out. But if you're not a fan, like, don't buy it then. You know, I've had a couple of messages being like, why would you sell a tape for $25? Why not?
Yeah, because
you know what? They all sold out.
Yeah, if you don't buy it, somebody else will.
Exactly. It's like, okay. It's not for everybody. It's totally fine. That's the power of free will, is like, you don't have to buy it.
Exactly. Now, this, I don't know how much you're in contact with this band, but the album cover itself, that to me screams blacklight poster. It
does. And like, I'm surprised that they didn't release some kind of cool poster, like you said, that would be that design on like a felt, you know.
Yeah, I was going to say, is anybody still doing the felt?
I totally know what you mean, though. That's what I thought too when I looked at it.
Right on. But I have some, actually, you can't see it, but it's right behind you, above you here. I have some blacklight posters that were done like straight, what do you call that? The screen prints, but no felt on them. But I think it would be a nice piece to see.
Super trippy shit. I'm down.
So, all right, what do we have coming up in
So I have the Ball distro. I've been having like distro distress lately. I had a couple of albums from Hand of Doom Records in Germany, and these were a pre-order back in June. They were supposed to be here by the end of July, and they've been stuck in Germany customs since August 14th, and they're just sitting there. So I've got all these customers waiting for these records because of the pandemic. I don't know if they're just super understaffed over there or what, but so I'm waiting for that to budge because I have these wonderful music fans waiting for their orders. I also did something with Interstellar Smoke Records in Poland, so those will hopefully be making their way down to the US for us to save on shipping as well. And then I have a
what'd you do with ISR?
Oh, I just did a couple of I did a tape. Well, I just pretty much grabbed a couple of their albums. So I had the Serpent Cobra. We did some Heraldika de Mandrake. We did Lagoon. We did the Red Windows cassette.
Very nice.
Yes.
I saw that. And I saw the Rev.
Artiaga.
Oh, yeah.
And that Atomic Mold split. So did very well. So I'm just hoping that they make it across the Atlantic, like in one piece.
Yeah. The last time I saw that, what did I order? Dope Lord out of Poland. That took a while. And the Las Astorias record took quite a while, and it looked like, every time you look at the in transit, it's like it's still right there. It's sometimes not moving.
I sent some tapes down to actually Mephistopheles and Serpent Cobra,
right?
So that they could have them, and they somehow ended up in Thailand. So they're sitting in Thailand for some reason, and they should be making their way down to Argentina. You know what? That's the way the world is right now. Every time I think that I've never, something keeps surprising me every single day. I'm just like, what is next?
Oh, absolutely. So, and speaking of next, hey, let's get into this. Well, first off, before we do, Ball. Oh my God, it's completely sold out now?
I have one tape left, but I don't know how many they have left. But for here in the U.S., if you want to save on shipping, I would say go to stonerrichrecords.com because I have one copy left.
And it'll probably be sold out by the time we get this out. So
yeah.
But
it's
either way, man.
Great album. I love that album.
It really is. It's it's filthy. It's funky.
Yeah.
It's retro. You got this like Alice Cooper horror, era kind of gig going on. Really great stuff.
It's like a sexy nightmare or something. I love it, and I want to be in it like nonstop.
Yeah, exactly. I'm curious because I got some stuff that I'm going to be getting through Bandcamp really soon. Basically, the ones I'm looking at right now that I think are more in the stuff that you are kind of that you follow, Coven Spell and the band Wicca. Have you been
right? Wicca is going to be on my next episode, so let's just throw that out there.
Right.
I had them on the show a couple months back. A bit of a smaller group that I had just been turned on to recently this year. I know I've seen them on social media, but I noticed that they weren't kind of active for the past couple of years. But boom, all of a sudden these 3 tracks dropped this week or last week, and they sound great. So I'm going to throw it on the show. Why not?
Absolutely. So, all right, we have, is there
So I got those distro deals, right? So, but as far as like actual releases from me I'm doing a repress of Las Historias because people went crazy for that, a lot more than I thought. So I was like, holy shit, I got to get some more tapes in because so many people missed out. So I have that coming up for Halloween. Awesome. I am doing a repress of Mephistopheles' I'm Heroin with a brand new cover, with new art and a very special rolling paper edition from Stoner Witch Records. And then I'm doing the Haze Maze, the Paranoid sessions, as long as I get clearance for licensing and all that, which I'm going through right now. So this should all be available for at least a pre-order by Halloween. So I got 3 tapes coming up. One's a repress though.
Now we've been talking about the tapes for a bit, and that's cool. Do you ever think that Reel to Reel will make it back?
Maybe for super diehards. I've been considering getting one just for my personal home situation. I just like to sit around with machines going.
I don't know, man. It's just I'm telling you, I like the idea of getting the cassette for the collector aspect of it.
Yeah.
I don't really have anything to play it on, but it's for that, I get it. I am getting a little nervous when I just saw recently somebody on social media is they're pressing 8 tracks.
Yes, I saw that too. I know Savage Master did one last year.
Yes.
And everyone's like, well, what do we do? And I think the band Ghost did one the year before that with their prequel album. But that's the line for me. I am cassette, vinyl, and I'll even fuck with CDs still. So
right. I got
that's a line for me.
Oceanside, California, the home of Glory or Death Records, where rock and roll lives, and they aim to bring you the best of the best. Check out some of these bands: Formula 400, Ethereal Sea, Great Electric Quest, Heavy Velvet, Kook, Red Witch, Johnny Moss Generator, Red Wizard, Love Gang, Smoky Mirror, Lords of Beacon House, Roast, Fellow Travelers of the Illusion Machine, and Bedlam's Edge. Plus, one-of-a-kind vinyl, extremely limited. The Red Witch Johnny stuff sold out. Now who knows what the next one will be. And if you want to show your support, you got to pick up the Glory or Death flag. Go to Glory or Death Records. The link is in the show notes. And defend the faith. We have to talk about Mucho Printing. And by we, I basically mean Mucho himself. So take it away, Mucho.
Yeah, hey, what's up, big dogs? This is Mucho Drums here to tell you a little bit about my new company, Mucho Printing. Now, I've played in multiple bands for several years, and I know how important it is to leave your mark after any show. Even before hitting that first note, you want the crowd to know who you are and remember who's responsible for the sore necks the next morning. Presentation is an important factor in any band's mission to the top, and that's where we come in. Fully printed backdrops, removable bass drum covers, mesh cab covers, flags. These are just a few products that we can offer to you. We're based out of Los Angeles, California, and can ship anywhere in the United States. More importantly, our goal is to help promote bands off the stage as well. With every order, we'll post pictures of the prints, along with info about the band and any other advertisements you'd like us to include. Please check us out on Instagram and Facebook by searching Mucho Printing. Send us a message for any details. Hope all of you are staying safe, strong, and powerful out there. And remember, you win some, you lose some, but nothing beats getting some. Cheers, my friends.
So how about this? Would you be interested, while I have you here, do you have anything that you want to discuss about doing a top 5?
Top 5 albums?
Whatever you want. Do you have maybe top 5? Well, you say you like to go out and you like to hike and go down the river and etc.
Oh my goodness. I just experienced the Salt River here in Arizona. I've been living here for like almost 6 years and this is my first time. You ever been there?
I haven't, but
Oh my gosh.
Everything's open, right?
Yeah. We just drove up to the river and went on it. We didn't go through any kind of company that's, busting people around, because I know there's actual recreation out there, but we just drove up to the river and got in.
It's weird. It's like I want to go there because I love to hear flowing water. It's it's calm, it's relaxing, but I'm also looking at getting the rest of it. I don't know. Maybe this is a question for you. On YouTube, other than music, what rabbit hole do you like to go down?
I've been actually exploring Witch House lately. I've been doing these mixtapes, and this has to do with the fact that the bars are closed. Right. And when I'm not going to a show and I want to go out and be social, especially with a couple of friends that I work with, we go to goth night. And there's been no goth nights lately because the bars are closed. So I've kind of been working on this playlist of a dark wave, electronic, Witch House stuff. So I've been kind of falling down that rabbit hole lately, which is unheard of for me to go that way.
Okay, now I'm gonna go. I can't even say it's 180. It's not even 360. It might be a 720 away from that. I do this. I've been looking a lot at ecospheres for whatever reason.
Ecospheres.
Yeah, there are companies that do them where it's like it's a glass globe, and then there's little brine shrimp in it, and it's a fully living ecosystem. So they feed and everything kind of regenerates.
Play God for a while.
Yes. And as I'm looking, I was like, I see how people are doing it, and that's what I want to go to the Salt River Fields for, is because I want to get some substrate, some river water, and let it sit on my counter for a while and let it settle and see what comes out.
Yeah, the Salt River is spectacular. I mean, it's like night and day from the city here in Phoenix. We live in such a big, polluted city. Once you go out there's like wild horses, literal wild horses, just standing in the water drinking and looking at you being like, hey, nice to see you too, bald eagles, eagles, pardon me. And then we saw otters just like right beside us, swimming and doing their thing all day. It was unbelievable.
Nature, it's awesome.
Yeah, go out there, do it.
Okay, so let's get this straight. Do you want to do a top 5 on some nature places out here, or do you have something else that you want to do a top 5 on?
I don't know that many nature places. I could probably fill a top 5 with just the 5 that I'm like into. But I'd rather maybe do music. Maybe your top 5. Top 5 of the year. Top 5 of the year. So already, I'll just say it. My number 1 album of the year is Ball.
Of course.
Yeah. Come on. Right. When I listen to that and I get like chills, I get excited, I feel inspired. Like I just feel like that primal part of me is like awakening again, which I haven't felt a lot this year. So that's got to be it for me as far as my number 1. Do you have a number 1?
For this year so far?
Yeah.
Gosh, there's one album that kind of it gave me feels. There's this band out of Texas called Foster Mother that I really like their sound.
Ooh.
There's something that hits me. I can't quite, there's that album. I really appreciate that album a lot. There's somebody, his name is Zach in the band Who Do It Kill. He put out like a really killer desert rock album this year that I have been just, I keep going. I guess it's the same with Ball. It's like, what are you going back to? What do you keep, when you go through your Bandcamp, you're like, I've listened to this a couple thousand times already, and it's just like, I don't know why. It's just been catching me, and I've really been enjoying it. I've also been going back, some stuff. There actually, I was going to say some stuff from maybe like 2016, but we're talking current. There is a band out of Italy that I got to interview, and I didn't even know that they were working. They had some demo tracks ready. This band Tenebra, and he let me listen to the album, and I'm telling you, it sounds wonderful. I love it. I can't, I'm like, I don't know how much more you have to boil this down. It's ready for release right now. Gosh, what else have I been listening to? There's a band that I just also did an interview with called Falcon Haptics. They've got a new release come out. They had an EP out that I really liked because it was fuzzy and kind of scuzzy. And now this one seems a little bit bigger and brighter. Still going off and off. I got it. You know what I got? I got an excitement for off-time signatures, like a kind of a Tool or whatever. And they had that. So, but that's me. I'm babbling. Please continue. So number 1 is Ball for you.
Yeah. My number 2 would have to be Thou, Blessings of the Highest Order.
Ooh, nice.
So they did a whole bunch of like Nirvana covers, and it was just incredible. So I kind of wish I could get this somehow on physical, but I understand it's all Nirvana covers. There's like 16 of them. 16 from Thou. And they're pretty heavy, and I just love it. So that would be my number 2. Number 3 would have to be Luger's new one, Cosmic Warrior.
Ooh,
yeah.
I've seen the band Luger. I've had it in my wish list, and I gotta admit I haven't done anything with it. Give me a little bit on Luger.
It's like sleazy, borderline thrash, nasty rock and roll.
Is this this is the Luger from Canada, right?
Yeah, they're from Montreal, Canada,
right.
which I think is like a pretty big hotbed for doom and all that. And when I lived in Canada, I had no idea. It took me till I left Canada to realize, geographically where all these bands mostly come from. And it seems like Montreal, Vancouver are like the hot spots for doom in Canada.
That's so funny that you say that because like
weird.
I was, when I was in Florida, I was like, what the sword would come down or whatever. And I'm like, okay, that's great. But when I left and moved to Arizona, now I hear, I'm reading a book based on doom metal, Doomed to Fail. Ooh. And they were talking about this scene in Florida, but it was more like a sludgy scene, almost like sludgy punk, but doom in a way. And I was like, oh shit, I really missed on that because at the time that I lived there, I was all about death metal. So
wow,
whatever, it is what it is. But okay, so Luger, okay. Right.
I love Las Historias album. I love smoking weed to it. That's always the good test, is if I can smoke and listen to the whole album will be all the way through. It's a thumbs up. So
exactly.
That's 4 for me, right? Yeah, that's 4 for me.
Yes.
And you're probably going to find this really out there, but Marilyn Manson's new album is probably my 5th one. I really enjoy it. I know Shooter Jennings produced it, and it's a really deep, personal. It's like he's coming down off a crazy bender and like, just letting all the feels happen, and that's pretty much what the album sounds like. Just a big, chaotic drug mess come down.
Nice. I have
can
not
relate.
heard of it. Yeah, I mean. But Shooter Jennings, really?
Isn't that crazy? They're like fans of each other's music apparently. Then they linked up, and now there's this album, We Are Chaos, that's out.
Wow, Shooter, he was supposed to play at the Rebel Lounge in Phoenix not too long ago. They had to cancel, obviously, for everything that's going on. He's total outlaw country, so... Okay, I haven't listened to the new Manson yet, so...
it doesn't sound country. It doesn't sound country at all.
Is there anything in there, or is it just like...
I think some of the promo pics had him in a cowboy hat, which he's done before, but...
Sure.
It's definitely a stripped down, like I said, more vulnerable Marilyn Manson, like you've never... It's like he let you into his bathroom while he was coming down off drugs and just poured his heart out to you.
Is this his 9 Inch Nails Downward Spiral?
I don't know if I'd say that. I don't know if he can go any further than this, but possibly.
Interesting. Yeah, I remember.
Such a weird time for everybody.
It really is. I remember seeing Marilyn Manson and the Spooky Kids in Florida at some of these places.
Yeah, you were saying.
Yeah, it was. What a crazy time. Fun stuff, and yeah, it's it's just so weird when you look at the jacket, for the CD or the cassette or whatever. And it's like, oh, the fan club. It's like 5 minutes from my house. And
wow,
whatever. I don't know. They get mail there, but who cares? It's just silliness. All right. So Marilyn Manson. All right. That's a cool top 5. And of course, being that, the year's not done, this is absolutely subject to change. And by the end of the year, we might have a whole different top 5.
Yeah, I noticed that maybe this last quarter is going to have a lot more releases. I know it was pretty slow going at first because of everything that was happening. People had their studio times booked, but weren't able to actually get in the studio because of the quarantining. But I'm looking forward to the new Smoky Mirror album that they're working on, apparently.
Right.
I would love to hear something from Toke soon because it feels like it's been eternity.
Oh, it's been like, almost 5 years, 4 years?
Yeah, so I'm hoping that they release something soon.
Right.
Who else? And it's also been the year of like epic represses. I've been buying all kinds of represses from like my teenage years. I just bought that L7 Smell the Magic 30th Anniversary Edition.
Yeah.
I bought the Distillers 20 years debut album edition. It's just, I joined their fan club. Like I'm still joining fan clubs in 2020. So I feel like I'm still winning in life.
Absolutely, you are.
Yeah,
as we all are.
Fangirl, like that's all I do is just play around with these bands and spend my money on records when I should be planning for the apocalypse.
Yeah, well, hey, as I'm looking and we're talking, I'm also looking at my wish list on Bandcamp. Like, well, what's next?
You have a wish list? I don't actually ever. Oh wait, it says I have 3 items in my wish list. Oh my gosh, I must have been really high. Oh yeah, these are from like years ago. Wow.
Well,
I just do it. I'm just like, nope, we're just going to do it right now.
Anytime somebody says, oh, you got to check this out or whatever, I just put it in the wish list. At one point, I had, 600 things in the wish list.
Oh my
I now
goodness.
have officially 37, and I go through them, and then I like, nah, there's nothing I can get rid of right now. I just need the scratch for it. But, it's like, it's
You're a
all
digital
good
hoarder.
I am. And, I do my picks because like I don't know about you. As much as I'm still new to vinyl, the resurgence, but I know what I want to hear on vinyl. I know what I don't want to hear on vinyl. So
yeah,
some of this stuff I'm like, I would like this as digital, and some of the stuff it's like I need to have this on a wax disc forever.
Yeah. I'm excited about a lot of the vinyl. I'm actually on a break right now from vinyl because I'm traveling to New Orleans for Halloween.
Oh,
so
awesome.
I'm going to try and hit up some of those record stores down there. I might have to get a couple jazz albums since I'm going to be in the home of jazz.
Yeah, and take a whatever, do what you want, but I'm saying like take some pictures when you're there so people can see what those other record stores look like outside of Zia Records here in Arizona or whatever you go to. That way you get a feel, and I'm always a fan of supporting anything local and homegrown. That's I hear like the big conglomerates like Best Buy. They did away with all the CDs and all that garbage, all the music, and now they took the DVDs and put that down to a quarter. Like they're getting rid of everything.
Isn't it so weird to see vinyl at like Best Buy and Walmart and Target?
Is weird.
What?
It is weird. I mean, they're carrying the big stuff, obviously.
Yeah.
But, we know where we can go for our stuff, and that's cool.
Yeah. I tried to buy directly from the band as much as I absolutely can. So I'm hoping I'm waiting for Bandcamp Friday, which I think is next Friday, right?
The first Friday of every month. So that's what I'm waiting for, too. I see the title of what I want right about here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's it's not really dirty. It's more the stoner rock vibe. It's not real greasy or anything, but I don't know. I feel like that would be a gorgeous thing to listen to on vinyl. So I'm gonna wait. I'm waiting for that one. So before we go, you did say something about Smoky Mirror, and I'm a big fan. So do you think you might do something with them?
Yes. We are. I'm going to do a cassette. So like I mentioned before, I'm not doing any vinyl anytime soon because I just can't financially back that right now. I do have the power, though, to do a few more cassettes. So I'm just going to do that, keep doing that. I actually have Kabbalah coming up as well. I've heard their new album. So it sounds amazing. They're out of Spain, and I think they were on Twin Earth Records on the previous album, and I was just a big fangirl again. So they asked me, hey, can we be on your label? And I was like, hell yeah.
Of course you can.
So that's going to be happening hopefully in the new year. That's what I have coming up. Smoky Mirror still, I don't even know if that album's completed yet, but I know that they were in the studio this summer. So I seen it on the Instagram story.
I'm looking forward to it because I love them. Were you there? Were you at that show at the Lunchbox?
Hell yeah, I was there.
Yeah, okay. That's when we were chatting. Just great show, great time.
So good.
Yeah, actually I'm looking. I have the poster right up there on the wall right now. So I'm looking for some stuff from them. I heard them when they were in. I was visiting Austin, and great stuff. So good for you, man. Just rocking and rolling with that Stoner Witch Records and Stoner Witch Radio. You know what?
Just I'm like not forcing anything. I'm just letting it naturally flow, which has been my new strategy this year. Because in the beginning I was like, oh my God, I have to get all the coolest. But then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Just gonna just let it see what happens. Don't be so crazy, Melissa. Just let it all happen. And it's just naturally flowing now. It great.
Is. I'm looking as I'm talking to you. I'm looking back. I bought something. I hate to do this. I'm putting you on the spot here. Smoky Mirror. Some of the guys like Mario. They were in another band. I bought it on Bandcamp, and now I can't remember the name.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know what that is. Yeah, I don't know. All I know is that I bought this awesome record off Glory or Death Records that they did.
Oh yeah. The split with Love Gang.
Yeah, that label is putting out some of the most beautiful vinyl I have seen yet. Have you seen the color combinations? I know this is really little kid stuff.
No.
Get excited over colored vinyl. Purists would be like, we only fuck with black vinyl. Well, I like colored vinyl. I like shit to look pretty on my turntable.
Yeah, I'm a big fan myself. What you're talking about is the Wax Mage or Wax Mage editions of the Red Witch Johnny.
They're really putting effort into it, and it shows. And I think I think it's something to be respected and admired. That's what I'm in it for.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Glory or Death has coming up down.
I know.
I know they did a Kickstarter for the Deep Purple tribute, and they had a certain goal, and then they tripled it. So there's a want there. There's a need for this. All right, so. In closing, again, please, Miss Melissa, tell everybody where they can go to hear you and buy some good stuff.
StonerWitchRecords.com is where I currently have one Ball album, a couple of my releases that I still have, Book of Worms, Luciferica, who, by the way, are working on a new album already.
Nice.
I've got Sleep Wolf up there, just a few more Haze Maze, Hymns of the Damned, and of course I'll be having the Mephistopheles, the Haze Maze Paranoid Sessions, and the Las Historias repress, and then later on, hopefully, Smoky Mirror and some Kabbalah.
Oh, killer! Ignacio, man, this guy never stops.
Yeah,
he's always doing something, and it's great. It's
that super group that just came out with the
Grimlord.
No, the Satanic Whispers.
Oh, the Crooked Whispers.
The Crooked Whispers.
The Crooked Satanic Whispers.
Sorry, guys. Satanic Melodies. That's the name of the album. You guys, I smoke on the regular. Pardon me. I'm on the fly right now.
It's the horse whispering satanic something people crooked. It's a crooked horse is what I'm saying. That's my point.
Yeah.
All right.
I would love to hear how that album came together. You got people in different countries. That's crazy.
Oh, yeah. It was Chad from Agrabody and Hour 13 and Anthony from Lagoon and Ignacio. And they all just put it together.
That's incredible. I love to see the community come together like that. I think that's so important.
Yeah, and you just reminded me. I got to hit them up to talk about that release. I talked to Anthony from Lagoon about it, kind of in passing, but I think it's time to have a full fleshed out interview with just that release. So, Miss Melissa, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I wanted to mention real quick, I'm going to be part of a raffle that's going on with another label in Kentucky. They're called Misanthropic Ritual. Okay. No, Misanthropic Records. Pardon me, I'm so scrambled right now. I've been on Zoom all damn day. But either way, so they're doing a raffle to benefit the missing and murdered Indigenous women of USA. And I donated a whole bunch of tapes to this raffle from my label that are going to be up for grabs. And Winhand actually donated a really cool t-shirt as well with a pin and a sticker. And I think the label themselves have a big item that's going to be up. And I think it's a guitar. So I'll be sharing all that information when it comes available, which will be the first week of October. I'm also doing a vinyl giveaway on Stoner Witch Radio. So if you're not following me on social media like Stoner Witch Show or my Stoner Witch Radio Facebook page, you can definitely hit that up, and I'll be giving away a really cool record October 1st. It'll begin.
Ooh. Well, shit, I got to get this out right away then. We can't wait with this.
I know, isn't it crazy? Next week is October. That's so fucked up.
It's blowing my mind. And I don't know if you know, I don't know if you've been listening. I've had Ian from Stone Witch. He's been kind enough to edit some of these episodes so he can. I'll just tell you, please bang this out right now. I need this.
Ian's so fucking cool. He hooks me up with all my posters for my releases, and they always turn out stunning. Like, my label would not be as cool as it is without Ian. Just let's real talk right now.
He is, well, you're the Stoner Witch. He's in Stone Witch. There's got to be something there. I don't know.
We were bound to, intersect.
Absolutely. Melissa, thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Have a great evening.
Take care. Big thank you goes out to Ian from No Masters Audio for editing this podcast. It's doomtombpodcast.com. Across all forms of social media on Doomtomb Podcast. You want to reach out to us, you could do it that way, or doomtombpodcast@gmail.com. You want to talk about doing an interview, getting a review, doing a submission, whatever it is, we got it. And it's easy. It's either Gmail or social media. It's pretty fucking simple. CraniumRadio.com, 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, each and every Sunday. It's all that music that you like. Plus, I'll do a podcast right after that. Archived episodes, new episodes, don't know until the day I do it. All the links are in the show notes. Thanks, everybody, for listening. And until that next time, meantime, and in between time, support your bands and reach out to your friends. And I hope that you guys voted out there. And above all, don't forget to stay